And they liked him so much, they're like, cool, you get to play this guy. This is going to be your first time on Stargate. Oh, no, I was Rodney McKay back in SG-1. It's like he had to explain to him, no, I've been on the show before, guys. And they're like, oh. And they went back and they just added him as Rodney McKay, his old character, instead of letting him be the new one. That's keeping it consistent because they're like,
yeah, it's a great idea to just rewrite the character, rewrite the new character into just being a reoccurring older character.
It sounds weird when you describe it that way, but like it makes sense.
Like, how else do you describe it though?
Just a reminder, this is a spoiler-heavy podcast. Different series that require a spoiler warning will be in the description. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Gaming Theater Podcast. On today's episode, we're going to talk about one-episode characters that stayed and moved into the main story. So this is that weird case where one character shows up only for like a brief couple of minutes, but that's all they need. They just need that to impress people, and they're like, hey, why don't we keep you for the rest of the story? Let's see where we can go with this story. And you'll be surprised how many people who you think, or how many characters that you think, started off as just a one-shot note and ended up sticking around for a while. So to help me today with this particular episode, I've got a couple of guests with me. Now, once again, I am your host, Theo, also known about as the Geek Scorpio. And over to my right is...
Hey, what's up? I'm Brandon, aka Tomato Man. I do funny voices, I do video editing, and I also am here on the podcast.
That is true. All these things are stuff that's happened on this show entirely. And over to their right is going to be...
Hi everyone, I'm Ben. I go by El Penguin on Gaming Theaters Presents. I'm a struggling muscle artist inspiring others through being a buff nerd. I do the podcast and the pro wrestling, the much entertaining and also butlering of recently. Service.
He's all about the service for you.
Like what? I'll be whatever you want me to, baby.
And over to their right, a special guest who's been on the show, who's a first time on the show, but I'm hoping to have them more often.
Hi, I'm Liz, call sign Lizard Beans. I do the gaming, the cosplay, and the literary snobbery.
It is true. I go to Lizard Beans for different notes that I need every so often of random repertoires. That being said, let's go ahead and take a quick trip over to the Magical Merch booth. Hi everyone, this is Leo, the Geek Scorpio, letting everyone know of a great tabletop and board game convention called Gem State Gaming Convention, located at 5610 North Glenwood Street, Garden City, Idaho, 83714. Join us for a fun time with a full schedule of events, featuring a large library of board games and fun for all types of gamers. The event will be held from Friday, July 18th through Sunday, July 20th. Links to the convention website for tickets will be in the description. See you there. And now, back to the show. Okay, so on this episode, what we're talking about is, as stated before, just a one-note episode characters. So when we talk about those, not every character that a storyteller has will usually be there just to be as part of a grand epic. It's usually just one. Sometimes you just need a note for this character to show up to get the story going. Almost like a MacGuffin sort of situation where they're just here to fill out this little niche to keep the story moving. However, if certain things align and how well that storyline works, typically what will happen is that character will get explored with, and they get added to new characters and new stuff for this. If you want, probably one of the most famous examples on that one is going to be Harley Quinn from Batman the Animated Series. So when Harley Quinn was in Batman the Animated Series, she was literally there for one note, for one joke, which was to open the door to let the Joker into a room. That was it. That was the premise of that first episode of it, is Harley is going to be Joker's assistant, which, I mean, Joker gets assistants and things throughout the canon of comics and like the old Adam West cartoons. That's just the thing, or Adam West show. Just the thing you have. But Harley, let her in, and people were so impressed with it, we just sort of kept her around. And then more stories came out from Harley. And then Harley had, at some point, Quinn ended up getting some of her own stories. Now she has her own show and has had her own movies and had her own cartoon. And she's been all over the place.
Yeah, she's almost more popular than the Joker at this point, I think.
She got more popular as the show went, and the longer it went, you started seeing Harley Quinn centric episodes.
Yeah, she got integrated into the comics actually.
But yeah, Tomato Man is right. Like, at some point she got integrated into the comics themselves, and now she's part of the comics lore to get in there, and that's just mostly because of just how popular.
Well, that's really fun too. She's had quite a great progression because she just starts off as like the Joker's two-bit girlfriend, but now she's like an anti-hero who gets to hang out with the good guys and date a bad guy who's also been kind of rehabilitated into an anti-hero. So interesting.
I do love her thing with Poison Ivy. It's just sweet, but it's so cute.
They're so cute.
I like how absurd it gets with how they have a future child and they don't really explain that.
Like, no, it just happens, the photosynthesis, how it works.
They grew a plant pod that had both their DNA inside, and it bloomed into a beautiful clown plant bimbo daughter.
I mean, probably. That's probably how they go with that, I'm not going to lie.
Honestly, that's exactly how I pictured it, so thank you for putting it into words, Liz.
Yeah. No problem.
But she's not the only one. There's some characters, even older characters, that are on there. From a couple of bits of research I bumped into, Scrooge McDuck originally started with that. And I mean, he has his own series with DuckTales, and he's been in the DuckTales comics repeatedly. But the first issue that he was in was a Donald Duck comic, and Karl Barks, who's the guy who wrote a lot of DuckTales stories, basically went, I need a story with a rich uncle. And this is a Christmas story, so yeah, I don't know, Scrooge? Yeah, that sounds like a good enough name for me. Charles Dickens? Yeah, good enough. I got this.
Why not turn a character from an iconic Christmas novel into a duck? That works.
Disney wanted to cash in on the Charles Dickens money.
Mm-hmm.
Even back in the day, they were trying to take everyone else's stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's public domain. So here's the thing with that, right? Sometimes your characters will change like that. Scrooge McDuck in the first couple of iterations was used very sparingly, and he wasn't this adventurous ne'er-do-well who basically, and also just his original thing was, I am rich, and that was it. Now he's an adventurer, and he cares about his family, and being rich is like not even the most interesting thing about him. But their characters, sometimes they change and evolve as you go with that.
I think that's kind of like a theme we're seeing a lot, is someone kind of starts as like a baddie, and then they kind of have this progression into becoming an actual hero, kind of like someone else on your list. You got Tommy the Green Power Ranger. He's,
Tommy's amazing.
The turbulent teenager with rough edges, and he gets pulled over to the dark side with Rita Repulsa and kind of like, come here, my boy, be my baddie. And so then he ends up getting rehabilitated by the end of the 6-episode introduction, and now he's a good guy, and he works with everybody.
And then he becomes the leader of the Power Rangers, like 3 times for 3 completely different series. And I think he comes back for one other series. And then
I think he's in a total of like 6 series.
Yeah.
Like as a character, not necessarily a ranger in all of them, but he's present in like a lot.
Oh no, he's definitely back for multiples of them.
And he never really stopped playing the character. For years, he kept making more and more projects where he's still playing Tommy, the Green Ranger, who may or may not be bad / good / whatever.
Tommy kind of reminds me of just that whole trope when you finally beat a certain character to have him join your party and just gets nerfed. Because I remember before he joined the Power Rangers, it was like, no, he was literally clapping them left and right. Like, they didn't stand a chance. And then they're starting to struggle with Rita. Like, I'm sorry.
A great example of that exact thing is in the Tales of Graces. There's a character that you fight as a boss, and he is a just massive like difficulty spike in the game, and when you beat him, like he has like thousands and thousands of HP. When you beat him, he joins your party and has under 1,000. It's like, this is stupid.
What happened to you? You meant something to me when I wanted you to join. Now it's just, I like the old team.
So a lot of those are examples of characters who became part of that group just because, or got added in just because we needed it for a story element, and they started to become bigger. And you'll see that happening more often. Sometimes, though, it is sheer coincidence that brings them aboard. My favorite weird one of that is, and probably one of the older ones, is Pavel Chekhov from the original Star Trek. So here's the thing with that. Sulu, in the original Star Trek, it goes on for like 3 or 4 seasons, but Chekhov isn't in the first season. After the season wrapped up, George Takei, who plays Sulu, was given the opportunity to go into a movie to work on a movie with the Duke, John Wayne. And so I can't remember the name of the movie off the top of my head, but so he gets to be in a military film with John Wayne, and as part of that, they let him go from the scripting for Star Trek. Back then, though, Star Trek was being filmed for long hours and for days upon days. Like, they finished tons of episodes and to get it out to syndication. So the thing with that is that they needed somebody to fill that spot because, well, we don't have a helmsman. If the helmsman's gone, who's flying the ship? And so they added Pavel Chekhov as a new character because in there, when he was only supposed to be there just for the time Sulu was gone. But he got kind of popular as they got through, and like, you know what? Let's just leave it. Just leave it in.
So he was just a temp, and then they liked him so much they kept him.
Yep, that was it. My favorite part about that is in the Star Trek Enterprise, it has 2 chairs, and they just basically, here's Sulu and chair in the helmsman chair, and here's some extra that we have to keep every so often and alternate the extra for that one. Or we could just have somebody who's just, that's their position. And like, so like, because of that, they're like, let's just leave Pavel Chekhov in there for it. It just works easier on that. Another weird one due to circumstance is Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, is he just one big bad guy and everyone liked his razor blades so much? You're like, oh yeah, wood.
It's like, we don't like our bad guys that edgy. We brought him back to the dead. That's how edgy we liked him.
It was more of a circumstance sort of situation on that. So here's what happened on that. If you know the origin of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I mean, that's fine. That's great. For those who don't, they basically created the first comic issue at using the money from that they both got from a tax return for the 2 creators. They drew up the whole comic, and then at the end of the first issue, Shredder gets killed off because they thought they only had 1 issue, and they printed it out into their local comic store. They're like, yeah, here's a bunch of copies for it. But the thing got so popular, they're like, cool, now we can make other comics. But then they hit a snag. They didn't have a whole lot of villains set up because they didn't think they were going to make more than like maybe 2 or 3 comics.
What do you mean other? So
they had to bring Shredder back for that.
So it sounds like the Ninja Turtles as a whole was just one big character's introduced. Nothing's gonna come after. Oh, they're coming back. They're coming back forever.
You actually see that in the 2012 cartoon, or not 2012, in the 2000s cartoon for Turtles, because it was supposed to be more closely related to the comics. And so what happens is that Shredder's gone after the first couple of episodes, and then he's gone for a while, and then he comes back because they had to use the same storyline in the comics to give an excuse to get him to come back. Because, again, didn't know we would be making a comic series from this, and we don't have a whole lot of big bad guys we can make running around on that one.
He really just needed a timeout. I mean, dealing with giant mutant teenage turtles is a lot, for just a regular ninja guy to deal with.
But before I lose track of this, because I didn't write it down, there's a couple of instances where you don't really see it like episodically, but in video games, it happens during the production process, where a character that's designed as a side character becomes a mainstay. A really, really big one that most people don't actually realize is that Tifa was not a primary character originally.
What?
Really?
I would.
Best
Yeah,
girl.
She's
in
the
development,
best.
I know, right? Tifa's best girl. But in
Yeah.
development, her character was made exclusively with the intent of being the contact within the bar. The whole idea initially was just for her to be the bar contact between Avalanche and Cloud. And I guess somewhere in the development pipeline, like while they were working on that early part, they kind of started to really grow attached to the way they were building the character, and they decided to integrate her into a party member from there. But the exact opposite is also kind of true with the secret characters.
Created a love triangle to do the world.
I know, right? Because Yuffie and Vincent were originally going to be mainstays, but due to a lot of restrictions towards the end, they had to axe those characters from the primary story and such, and that's why Vincent's story is very just, go find Lucrezia. Okay, you found Lucrezia. Okay, who's Lucrezia? Why do I care? And then, yeah, exactly. And then retroactively, after the original game, those secret characters became insanely popular, and they ended up getting retrofitted back into the primary story through their background and growing up and like fleshing out their origin story more. And Dirge Cerberus happened and all kinds of other stuff.
You rarely see it in video, or at least, how do I want to put this? We rarely see it in video games at the end product, because by then, so much work has happened and developed for it that that it's already integrated, and we as the audience don't get to see that part of it.
Yeah, because I got through so many drafts of the story by that point that
Mhm.
a project is barely what it started off as.
Oh yeah, it's hard for me to find a example off the top of my head for something like that. I know they're out there though, because I've seen they're typically in RPGs is
Mm.
where you'll see that mostly. It's because they'll have a storyline because RPGs in its nature they have to be story centric. It's the role playing of the of the letters RPG. And so because of that, there's a good chance that a lot of them have to be edited. The story has to be edited or curtailed or changed around or given a bunch of other options on that later down the line, just because stuff can happen. Usually though, what you hear more about is so there was one instant I know where there was the opposite that ended up getting really popular, which was in Persona 1, with the very first Persona game, when it came over to the United States. They ran out of time to finish the translation for it, so they locked out a third of the game. And so by doing so, a character that you get to play as in the beginning of the game, I think her name is Yuki, you can't use her past the tutorial levels. But then people are like spending like hours and hours and hours in the game trying to see what they could do to unlock it. It's if you have the American version of it, you cannot get her because that part of the game had to be cut out.
Mm.
There is one, and this is why I needed Liz over here for that I know of, from the 90s, which started as a one-shot thing and got their own series, and now I love her.
Yeah, that's my girl Xena Warrior Princess. She's filmed in New Zealand, and Lucy Lawless was in a few episodes of Hercules Legendary Journeys before being Xena. And since it was filmed in New Zealand, they just always had the local actors coming and auditioning and getting parts and playing recurring roles. Carl Urban was Cupid and Caesar and
Mhm.
some random religious zealot. So Lucy was kind of well known around there anyway. But then she got the role of Xena Warrior Princess in Hercules, and everyone loved her so much. They were like, hey, let's expand her role a little bit, bring her back for another episode. Because she just shows up as this warrior hussy trying to split up Hercules and Aeolus. which kind of works for a minute, but then they bro so hard that they're like, nah, hoe bag, and they kind of like force her to run away. But then she comes back later. Her army's kind of turned against her, and she needs Hercules to kind of help her out. And then they end up kind of putting her into this season finale as a love interest. So it's another one of those instances where the influence of the good guys rehabilitates the bad guy, and then she went off and got her own series where she's now a do-gooder fighting for justice and getting the highest body count in TV history while doing absolutely absurd things. It's great.
With her backflip 360 Vic twist,
Uh-huh.
still managing to throw a chakram.
Yeah, her chakram and her yell thing. Ah! Yeah. Every little girl practicing that in the backyard and waking up their dad. Or at least that was just me. My dad working the night shift and me throwing cardboard chakrams I had made around the house and doing the yell thing, and him waking up and going, "Shut up, Liz!" The 90s were great.
Joxer is another one, which weirdly got popular as well.
Yeah, and it's just the director's brother who gets cameos in all his stuff. So Ted Raimi, who plays Joxer, just shows up in pretty much everything Sam Raimi's done. I mean, he was in Wishmaster. He got squished by a giant box. And I don't know, some other random movies that he's done.
For Ted Raimi, yeah, he was usually random guy somewhere in something, except like he was Chet in Evil Ash versus the Evil Dead, but then he was also just a guy named Chet, and then he was just some random peasants in the Army of Darkness. He was a couple of random guys in I don't know if he actually was in the Multiverse of Madness. The thing is, Ted Raimi actually does things away from Sam, but Sam's gonna ask him every time.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to play a fun game, see if you can find these 3 things inside a Sam Raimi movie: Bruce Campbell, Ted Raimi, a broken his Delta 88 car.
Does that show up a lot?
Almost every film that he has, with the exception of the one Western that he did, has his Delta 88 car, which is his car back in the 70s, in every movie that he's made, except for, I think, like 3 of them.
That's some commitment.
But yeah, Joxer was another one of those kind of characters that started off just one note, but people loved the guy, so he just kept showing up.
Mm-hmm. And the show had, actually, a lot of their villains also did the same thing. It was kind of a one note.
Yeah, I don't know how many times they killed Callisto, but she just kept coming back, all like, "I'm still trying to kill you, Xena. That's great. Are you going to betray me yet again?" No! Betrayal! Like, it's just what she does.
That's just what she does.
Mm-hmm.
So, thinking of Xena made me think of another character that did that. In Stargate, there was a character named Rodney McKay, and he was the rival scientist to our main heroine of Stargate SG-1, Sam. And so, like, they butted heads a lot because they were both just as really smart, but Sam actually goes into the field where McKay doesn't. So, here's the thing, though. He got weirdly popular. Actually, no, he didn't get popular. He made the actor made the character popular by mistake. So he was there for only 1 episode. They liked him a lot. They brought him into another episode of SG-1, and then they were going to make a new scientist character to be used in Stargate Atlantis. The actor who plays Rodney McKay, though, tried out for that character as well, and they liked him so much they were like, "Cool, you get to play this guy. You haven't been on. This is going to be your first time on Stargate." "Oh no, I was Rodney McKay back in SG-1. It's like he had to explain to him, "No, I've been on the show before, guys." And they're like, "Oh." And they went back and they just added him as Rodney McKay, his old character, instead of letting him be the new one. That's keeping it consistent because they're like,
yeah, it's a great idea to just rewrite the character, rewrite the new character into just being a reoccurring older character.
It sounds weird when you describe it that way, but like it makes sense.
Like, how else do you describe it though?
I mean, are we about to have a Sherlock Holmes moment again?
Maybe.
Yes, thank you.
Nailed it. Turns
It's
Or
like,
is
no, it's clearly not this obvious.
Actually, to that end, Sherlock Holmes technically would count because they killed him off because he wasn't supposed to make it past the first novel.
Guess what? He came back because he's Sherlock Holmes. Oh, snap.
That one's kind of different though because it's his own story.
Yeah, I mean that's a different one. Like, it's the whole story. It's not a character.
Yeah, it's kind of his thing. They just went, "Oh, this is marketable."
I mean, it kind of does still apply though, because you've got well, no, because of Moriarty. I mean, Moriarty gets killed pretty early in the books, if I remember right, and then he did that because he wanted to stop like the Sherlock Holmes story, and like, well, no more big, antagonists, so let's get rid of him. So now the story's over, but then I think they still kept it going.
So at the end of the first because there's like just a couple of novels with Sherlock Holmes on it, and then, but yeah, it wouldn't be the same thing.
Well, because Moriarty was his nemesis.
But that was always the point. He was brought in to be the big cheese. He didn't like become the big cheese because he was popular or anything.
Yeah. So that's not the same.
That's more like, we want you to keep making episodes, so make a season. It's like Supernatural. It was supposed to end with season 5, but it's like, no, this is too popular. We're going to keep milking this cash cow forever. So they kept it going.
Mm-hmm.
Did it end though after they killed off Moriarty? I can't remember. That's where I'm getting myself confused here.
No, the story kept going for other ones on it.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, it's David Hewlett. That's the guy who plays Rodney McKay. I figured I've talked about him enough. He probably should have his name dropped at the similar.
Yeah, give the guy some credit. Jeez.
I did just now. You were there.
I was. The moment passed us by, like tears in the rain.
Ah, yes, Blade Runner. Sorry, it's one of my favorite movies, so I can spot quotes.
I mean, can't argue with that logic.
That's great, but what does this have to do with this subject right now?
Liz quoted it.
Absolutely nothing. Just got to bring it up.
Just let him have it. Let him have it.
Mm-hmm.
Was she not quoting that movie?
She was, yes. We're very proud of you for catching the reference.
Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not losing it, because the other two were like, yeah, whatever, man.
I think they're just caught up by how proud of yourself you sounded. You're like, Blade Runner.
I was like, great job, bud. So anyway, it's just like, it's like, no.
Well, to me, it cut off for the last end, and so I didn't hear Blade Runner. I just heard Blade.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's not how that story goes at all.
It's like, huh. I just went with the flow, just like, no, he's having a moment. Let him have it.
Although Blade's not that. Blade was part of an ensemble cast, and before he got his solo going. That's although a Spider-Man villain that I think is hilarious, that is now super huge, is the Spot. Because he's the main villain. Well, okay, so the Spot's funny because the Spot is literally meant to be a one-note joke that Spider-Man fought somewhere in the 90s.
Wasn't it like a cartoon and he's just a guy with a spot and he makes more spots and they're little portals?
That's the same guy.
He's got spots within spots.
And he's only there for one episode because they happen to have a comic that's also one comic about the Spot.
Okay.
So he's literally twice over a one-shot note character. And then I think he shows up on a couple of other Spider-Man or Spider-Man adjacent, like some of the characters in the Spider-Verse. Also, as a one-shot note, does the Spot thing and then is gone after that issue. Which makes it amazing that he's the main villain of Across the Spider-Verse. Because, like, way to level up, buddy. You are literally such a one-note joke. We keep you around for other one-note jokes.
I mean, it's a good note.
He's not just a one-note joke. He's the standard for one-note jokes. Like, this one joke better ring on for the whole damn movie.
And anyone who's seen Across the Spider-Verse, he's only in it at the beginning and somewhat towards the end, and that's about it.
Yeah, but by the time we got to the end, it's just like, when did he reach Omega levels? It's like, we're about
getting there. And we'll have to all wait until the third Spider-Man movie and Across the into the Spider-Verse movie.
By then, we'll have to do a movie night to watch the other ones to remember what's even happening.
That's how they get you.
Mostly all I remember is a hot female Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm.
That was my highlight of those movies.
Both of them, it's just that one.
Mm-hmm.
My highlight's the Spider-Man, having a Spider-Verse doll doing the Spider-Man meme.
Right.
That gets me in a special spot.
I like that Insomniac Spider-Man makes an appearance in the movie.
Also, the other highlight I have personally is watching Ben watch that movie and be like, so that's Spider-Man 2099. That's Miguel. Man, look at them traps.
Oh yeah,
dude, he did have great. Miguel. I think I immediately, like, when I found him with shirts, like, fuck, now I gotta make a whole workout for him. It's like, okay, let's see. He's got really good traps, real good glutes. He moves like a gargoyle. He's really curled down. It's like, I'm onto something here. Like, let's see. Like, bro, he's literally just all booty and lats.
It was. And then
the main parts you need in the spider.
It's like even better. Now the goth girls are into him too. Like,
it's like what if Spider-Man was just like a gargoyle Latino like vampire? Like, hold on, where are we going with this?
Wherever he wants.
He wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like that's like an ultimate. I got a one shot with a one shot on this one. We're gonna put you in the movie. You're gonna do what now? All right. There's so if you think just the Western audience is the ones that are gonna do stuff like that, no, it happens all the time. There's animes that do that, but not nearly as often as you think because of how well they have to plan it out. But Yu Hakusho has got a big one with Hiei. Literally was only supposed to be there for that first time they fought Hiei, and then we're done. But then they're like,
people like Hiei.
We need someone for this tournament. I got Unguy in mind.
They need another ally.
He was the most well-crafted of the villains that didn't already become a party member. Like, because Kurama was always intended to be a party member, and that's part of why
that's always intended.
Yeah, but he was like...
third one was just kind of there.
Yeah, no, the third one was just like, I want to eat humans, and... The other two, Kurama and Hiei...
Okay, you're kind of like the bottom tier of it.
Yeah, like, they actually had, like, reason. They had purpose behind their actions, and that's what made them more enjoyable characters. So, I mean, having a callback to that coming down the line, it made enough sense, and it didn't feel forced in that respect either.
You know, even when I was watching Yu Hakusho as a kid, I was remembering just like, oh, I get it. Kurama just came in and was like, hey, I know a guy. Really? Him?
That
like,
guy?
yeah, we know him too. Why is he here?
No, you actually did remind me, and I just had this conversation with one of my roommates when we were, because he just passed the arc in One Piece of these like 11 people called the Supernovas. They were literally just a 1 week, just like, hey, you got to come up with like 9 new characters that are, you know, somewhat cool, but they can't be too important. In 1 week, god damn. So literally nothing but last minute ideas. But one guy in particular named Law, who he put down as like, he's the most basic looking one out of all of them, became so ungodly popular. Even he was trying to figure out, shit, I gotta put him in the main story now. So immediately after, it's like, okay, we went to Fishman. What's up next? Hey guys, it's me. How'd you get here? So, long story. I'm here now, okay, because I blackmailed the Marines by giving them 100 hearts.
You know, as you do.
I mean, he is a surgeon of death, that he is. But then, I wasn't expecting that to lead to the next art, to having his own childhood background story. Like, that's official. He's an important character now. And that's a very sad story.
He's telling me his backstory. He's going to be around for a while, isn't he?
I was like, no, it's official. It's official. He's here for a bit. Remember, the sadder, the longer he's going to stay. And
the sadder your backstory, the longer
the sadder your backstory, the longer you stay. That's the rules of One Piece. It's just like, okay, it keeps being more... Sanji had a second one. I wasn't expecting that. Like, how sad do we need this kid's life to be?
Well, with how many episodes there are, they gotta keep developing characters somehow, so let's just keep adding more tragedy to the backstory.
Oh my god. I thought they stopped after a while.
Hello, dead horse. Let me introduce you to Bat.
Like, what level of 5D chess of this guy I've seen just like here and there, just like, I call this potential foreshadowing. Is it potential? No, he's just really likable, so I gotta figure some shit out now.
I guess my last little notes about or one of my last little notes about this is sometimes a character will get added into there not to stay in the main save, but not because of like a story based circumstance, but because we just like the way they're being performed. Like Parks and Rec's Andy is like one of the big ones that did that. He was supposed to be kicked out in the first season and ended up but ended up sticking around for that.
Oh no, they made him too adorkable.
I know, like he's so awful at first, but they kind of all are in the first season, and then they kind of messed with the writing and rewrote it so people are actually enjoyable to watch. And then they just made Andy just like a lovable idiot. He was just too cute.
And then afterwards, they're like, okay, we need to kind of give Leslie Nope a bit of an antagonist. So they brought Trish Traeger on, but he was also so likable. They just kept him around.
Yeah, and Perkins. Like, how could you not like him?
Like, stop hiring people with the high charisma stat, guys.
Yeah, don't hire Rob.
For God's sakes, he was supposed to be a bad guy, like a likable bad guy. Not like that.
Ben in the beginning was a lot more of a villain than Chris was.
Right? He's a more serious deadpan auditor until it turned out he was a huge nerd.
That was still so great.
And I love it when he's crying in the Batman suit because he misses Leslie.
It's like, how's it feeling? Thanks. Oh my god, what about like they got each other gifts? It's like, man, I put a lot of thought into it. I thought it was really great. Like, oh, that's so nice. Here's the Iron Throne for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, okay, yeah, this wins.
Dude, I don't know if it was, there was something about Ben's like finally getting stuff that he wasn't allowed to nerd with about that just, I felt like it kind of chilled, like healed your inner child. Like, I need this. This is what we do.
Yeah, like it's never too late to get into your hobbies type of thing. Because he's like, I'm gonna make a weird game now, the cones of whatever.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Even the cones of Dunkshire are becoming a reoccurring. Just like, no, it's becoming serious now. Like, is it though? Because I kind of want to play this game. How do we play cones? Is Cones of Dunkshire a game we can get?
Yeah, like did some nerd make actual rules and like cones you can like, I don't know, print it out online or something and actually play it? Because that would be hilarious.
Yo, come on, you're the board game guy, man.
Yeah.
I'll take a look. It also sounds like the most complex monstrosity out there of a board game. Now, I'll try it. I will do this, but good lord, does that sound like a mess?
You know, we'll just take a couple plays before we know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Oh. But yeah, so like that show, Parks and Rec, did it twice. Man, we just can't stop keeping people away. Yeah, so it just kept going with that for a while. The one I thought was interesting is like I was bumping into Zombie Hand a little bit, and I was telling her about this subject, and she goes, "Oh yeah, what about have you seen Law? I think it's Law and Order. No,
SVU.
Is it SVU? They had
yes, and she will come in and beat you if you do not remember this."
Look, I haven't watched any of SVU, and Zombie Hand has powered through all of SVU in like a couple of weeks.
My wife has also done the same thing.
But if you're wondering who we're talking about, it's Sergeant Odafin Finn
Tutuola.
Like literally, we only need him for one, maybe 2 episodes. 20 years later, that guy's got a career. Still there.
Yeah, Criminal Minds, they did a similar thing too, because the pilot, they had a FBI analyst named Penelope, and she was written exclusively as a pilot character, but the producers loved the natural chemistry between her and one of the co-actors that they decided to work her into the whole show because their banter was just so fun.
Oh, I love that. No. You make this. This is kind of back to what happened with Tommy Oliver. Like, honestly, like Jason David Frank knew exactly was the right person for that role and just wanted. It was like, no, I'm in. I'm sold. I'm there.
It's like,
Like, it's so weird. I did start watching some of the older, like, Mighty Morphin episodes when I got to there. Like, it's weird to see, like, a bunch of these actors on there, and they're doing their best, but you can tell they're kind of new to this sort of thing. And then you see Jason David Frank, and he, like, owns it. He believes that he's going to do
yeah, that first scene when he's just doing all those jump kicks, and you can see the moment where Kimberly's ovaries explode.
Yeah.
It's a great moment on TV, and like he just instantly fit in so great.
Oh, but yeah, so like if sometimes it's just the way they're portrayed which makes him like now we want to have to keep going with this character. The one that you don't see this happen very often for is film, because unless you have a sequel to it, you can't tell that they're actually there as a one note sort of thing. Like Boba Fett is probably the big one. Just meant to be Boba Fett's job in the Empire Strikes Back is to take Han from point A to point B and then leave. And that's about it. But no, he's got a fan base. He's got so many stories written about him. So
Star
much
Wars
background with
does
that.
They did the same thing to Darth Maul. Like everyone just thought he was so cool. They're like, okay, let's retcon it so that he's alive, and we'll put him in all the cartoons. And it's just like, come on, yeah, he was cool, but
he was cut in half. I saw it.
he,
And then throw down a
right?
shaft.
And fell down. Yeah, went down the shaft. It's like, no, we didn't. Whatever, guys.
Well, I mean,
It's like, yeah, but he makes
Disney
money
also-
though.
Disney did it with Pirates of the Caribbean. Technically, Jack Sparrow wasn't originally the focal character. It was supposed to be all about the whole Turner legacy. And then next thing you know, every single movie is Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow exclusive.
Revolves around Jack Sparrow.
But yeah, so most of this is just one-shot note characters, but we love them. If they show up, they're great. Comics that happens way more often than you think. I know. I think Luna Snow started out with being in just a handful of. I was looking up like Luna Snow, and I'm like, because she's in Marvel Rivals, and I've been playing that, and I'm like, oh, what comics are you in? I could only find a list of like 6, maybe 7 or 8 comics that she was in. I'm like, really?
And then she gets to be this main star hero in Marvel Rivals. It makes everyone go, "Who dat?"
Well, who dat?
Well, I mean, to be fair, the devs didn't want to have it be a Marvel property. They originally wanted it to be fully original, and they ultimately settled with doing the Marvel tie-in thing, and it was for their benefit because that game exploded. Would it be anywhere near as popular without that Marvel connection? I honestly don't believe so.
Probably not. I do know that the dev team and the head for Marvel Rivals recently released a note that they're like, because people kept asking him to go, because their new plan currently is to release one new character once a month every month. This month's Blade. I can't wait. So they're releasing out. They're like, hey, can you actually keep this schedule up? And then he turned around and goes, okay, I'm letting you guys know Marvel is letting us use everyone for the last 80 years. We'll find someone in there. I'm waiting for Howard the Duck to show up.
Dude, yes.
And then that's not even counting things in the Spiderverse. I'm waiting for Aunt May as Spider May show.
Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
Oh, and then bring in Uncle Ben. All the old people.
Like that's what I was just thinking. Like, what's it gonna feel like for like half those Spider-Mans when an Uncle Ben Spider-Man comes in?
Yeah.
There is an Uncle Ben Spider-Man.
They all have a natural
course there is.
debuff when Ben comes into play.
Exactly.
So-
they have to have existential
Yeah.
pain at the same moment. Ben!
I don't know. Maybe there's like a spider-like therapy room that he's in there for just like, all right, guys, come for your hugs. Just like, thanks, Uncle Ben, and just like walk up, thanks, Uncle Ben.
Just a big line.
He's a busy
Except for
man.
Miles Morales isn't going to be there for that one, but that's a different story altogether.
No, he can hang out with his live-action uncle.
Oh, he gets it. He gets it. That's one of the rules of being a Spider-Man. You get it.
Mhm.
Like, you get it. I've had someone close to me die as well.
I know Batman has had his fair share of. So the Silver Age is a crazy thing. They have just characters that are just. The Silver Age is very cartoony, very cheesy, comic characters. Like you'll have Stiltman, and that's a Daredevil villain. Oh, by the way, that's his thing. He's got 2 big stilts.
Yeah. When did Kite Man just like get his own series?
Kite Man is a legit Batman villain from some.
I know,
Also,
like,
is the Condiment King.
I love Kite Man.
Oh God, I forgot about Condiment King.
I'm still waiting for the Calendar Man like holiday special happening every month.
Oh, the dumb villains are the best villains.
They really are.
In Superman the Animated Series, and it's just a one-off thing that they did, they had Miziplex in there. And Miziplex is a big thing in the comics, but in the Superman Animated Series, they only had him for 1 episode, and it's very much a Looney Tunes cartoon that that Superman just bests him. And the thing is that whenever Superman bests him, he has to wait one more month, and then he comes back to go defeat Superman. And all Superman has to do is very Rumpelstiltskin-y and convince him to like read his name backwards or say his name backwards.
It was like some way like project his own name backwards.
Mm-hmm. And so every time he does it, he's gone. So there's at the end of the episode, you find out that he just marks this day on his calendar. He's just ready to go. He's like, oh, it looks like it's the 13th on the Wednesday. Got to make sure I got this set up ready to go.
And I saw the one where he was so on top of it that the moment he popped up, he was still like in this office. I was like, oh, hey, Plexism. It's not Plexism, it's Spitalix. Oh, damn it.
And they got
I was like, new record.
But yeah, so like, I think that's about it as far as what I've done. You kind of need to know the history of your storytelling and such for when someone is actually there that's meant to be, and someone who's there as a one-note thing. But if they're really cool, they can stick around. Now, before does anybody have any last things to say before? Because I think this is about it as far as the subject matter goes. But yeah, if you had a one-shot note character that you love knowing that it's just a one-note thing, that they're just here for one thing and show up, which one is some of your favorites that you wanted to mention on?
I have one.
Oh, okay.
The greatest of rivals to one Jake Peralta. The Pontiac Bandit.
Yeah!
Love the Pontiac.
It's like, yes. Looks like it's this again. Oh,
Real
Rosa.
so million.
Rosa.
Rosa.
El cuánto te amo que está para tú, mi Rosa. It's like, that's right. I took Spanish class. As he gets rejected by Rosa for the 13th episode.
Mm-hmm. The Pontiac Bandit is a really good one.
But also, I want to give a nice shout out to the time the Pontiac Bound and Jake got outdone by the Pontiac Bandit's sister.
That is
on a
true.
cruise, nonetheless.
Not really one shot. She's kind of a recurring character, but in Alias, Sydney Bristow has this rival, Ana Espinosa, who just randomly shows up and foils her a little bit and then goes back to Russia. And she was played by Gina Torres, who plays what's her name in Firefly? Zoe, thank you. She plays Zoe in Firefly. She was in a ton of TV in the 90s and 2000s, and you can still see her sometimes.
A ton of sci-fi.
Yeah, but she often is just actor who plays those kind of characters, because she often would do that in shows. She'd just show up as this like awesome person, and she'd do some cool stuff, and then she'd go away, and then she'd just randomly show up the next season, go mwahaha, and run off. She also did the same thing in Hercules. She was this cool pirate chick for a while, and she'd just show up, do something cool, leave.
I didn't realize how many shows and things I've watched. Like, oh, there she is. There she is. There's Gina Torres. There's Gina Torres.
She's in everything.
I gotta give it up to Gina Torres. She was also in a one shot for Justice League Unlimited, and then they brought her back and made a love triangle between her and Jon Stewart.
Right, the girl with
and
the tiger necklace thing. The
yeah,
cat girl.
That's Vixen. And then they got into a love triangle spat, and it's very soap opera-y, and they're like, I'm in. I want to see where this is going.
I would like to be in a love triangle with Gina Torres.
I too would do that. From what I understood, that isn't far from the truth from the commentary I was watching about that. Like, they, one of the writers on there, I think it's McDuffie, who has a huge crush on Gina Torres, like, so can we bring Vixen back for this episode? No, how about this one? No, we can't just bring Gina Torres back every time. How about this one? Just trying to find a way to slide that in, which I get.
Why not?
It's like, please.
Although, as you were telling me about Sokka from Avatar, that was the one I was trying to remember.
Oh, yeah. Sokka was
Wait,
originally
Sokka's
just like a small part just to kind of get the plot going, but then they liked the actor so much and his comedic style that they wrote him in as a more permanent party member.
I love that.
It's cute.
So yeah, that's about all I've got for this episode. For that, our next episode is going to be released on August 1st. With that being said, this is Gaming Theater Podcast logging out. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
Gaming Theater Podcast is hosted, created, produced, and edited by Leo Garcia, the Geek Scorpio. Our music is A Drinking Game. Stock media provided by Stormwave Audio /Pond5. Our cover art is by Adam Parker. You can find him at ParkerGFX on Twitter. If you want to send us some money to help with these episodes, you can do so at patreon.com/gamingtheaterpresents. Want to send support that doesn't hit your wallet? Please leave a review with wherever you hear your podcasts and share our podcast with your friends. It really helps out. Thank you for listening.